anyone who is a yoga teacher should definitely do the Therapeutic Partner Yoga certification, if possible, because what happens when you're a yoga teacher is students will want private time with you at the end of class, and you've just come in and given sort of your heart and soul in teaching this class, and if you have 3 or 4 different students that want private time with you, it's part of setting good boundaries for yourself as a teacher to say, you know, really the space to have this conversation would be to schedule a private session with me. And then you can work with their body individually. My yoga students who also do private therapeutic partner yoga sessions with me get a better experience in their regular yoga classes because I already know their body. So when they're in a yoga pose and I'm trying to help them in their practice, I know exactly where their edges are already. I know a little bit about the background of what's going on in the heart and the head as well. And so I can give them guidance that I can say as general to the group. You know, I don't say, so-and-so, this one's for you or whatever. But it gives you an opportunity to create a longer lasting relationship with your students. Students that I work with on a private level are the students that have stayed with me for 10, 12 years. And they get more out of their yoga practice. They also get an assessment from me that's so specific to their body, and we can go in depth with all those questions they have that they'd like to go a little deeper with after class. So you can schedule time out of your schedule and teach your yoga class, and then you've got an extra hour out of your time that's been taken after class with 1 or 2 people that have these really specific things going on, and they're trying to put you on the spot because they're ready for more. They've just had an experience that has opened up this new thing for them. But really the appropriate place for that would be where there's the correct exchange, whatever that exchange would be, you know. And that exchange might be as simple as, let me think about it, and then let's schedule some time to talk about it one-on-one. I also do private partner yoga. And then you have a variety of different partner yoga stretches and movements and things that you can do with their body to help them actually feel what they're asking you, to help them really kind of get clear on what they were trying to get out of class and wanted follow up on anyway. If you are a massage therapist, you're crazy not to become a yoga teacher. Because if you're a massage therapist, the ability to teach a yoga class to a group, there are people that will schedule, that will not schedule a massage, that will come to a yoga class. So it gives people an opportunity to get to know you on a group setting, and then from that group setting you have this other skill that's already in place too. So they really do go hand in hand. The Therapeutic Partner Yoga training is actually a total braiding together of those concepts where you have a one-on-one therapeutic yoga session that someone who is an LMT could come get certified to do. You have a one-on-one therapeutic yoga session that someone who is a yoga teacher can come and get certified to do. Someone who's a massage therapist will make more use of the marma-point therapy and the rubbing and the pressing and the movements that are related to massage. Someone who's a yoga teacher will be using those therapeutic partner yoga stretches and the awareness of the chakras, and you'll then be able to realize why a student is having trouble with this one pose. It's like, oh, it's because you're here, and you're here because mind, body, or spirit, something is out of alignment. And so when you do a therapeutic partner yoga session, what happens is the tissues of the body relax differently because it's a passive practice. You're moving them through their yoga poses. The chakras work as one undulating stream, so there's this energetic rebalance that takes place. The busyness and the craziness of life gets a place to relax, or the more depressed or sedentary way of being gets some stimulation. So it brings them into their sattva, into that place of their pure sense of being, you know, and it helps them experience that. So that's kind of, you know, the brief overview of why you might want to, you know, seriously take this on in addition to your yoga teaching or your massage therapy practice. So we've already talked about how I was in the office right out that window, looking in this window, wondering where my yoga studio would be. And so doing this work puts you in that space of co-creation where those pranic flows are flowing through you. And now I'm in here this morning, looking back at that window where I was, wondering when I would be here. And so the therapeutic partner yoga brings you full circle that way, in a way that it is exponentially, expansive to your yoga teaching. And then again, spiritually, it gives a feeling of oneness with that divine connection, that connection with your source. And that's what opens up those channels that are life-changing for people. For the giver, for you as a practitioner of therapeutic partner yoga, for your mind, it instills a moving meditative state that starts to spill over into the rest of your life. It brings in more sattva into every aspect of your life to do this work, because it puts you on a shamanic path, on a healing path. It helps your ability to become a more focused and present person. So when I'm teaching a yoga class, or if I'm a massage therapist and I'm in the middle of giving a massage therapy session, it's like I see it. I see it in the body where it is, and I know exactly what that person needs. I can sense things that I couldn't sense before when I look at a physical body who's a student doing this work as a result of doing that partner yoga. As far as my body, I wondered when I started this if I would have the strength to do it because of rheumatoid arthritis. And what happened is it brought my doshic balance into harmony. So I've been in a vata imbalance probably my whole life, and it raised my pitta, and it brought the kapha into balance. So doing this work on a regular basis will bring your doshic balance into harmony, your own specific doshic constitution. The counter pressure when you're in a partner yoga stretch, and let's say I've got someone's feet on my belly and I'm leaning over that person, or I have my feet on their back and I'm pulling back and arching my back. That counterweight of doing partner yoga with someone else gives you an incredibly deep pranic release in your own marma-points and your nadis and your chakras. And so the sen lines, the marma-points, the nadis, the chakras, when you learn how to align up those spaces on you with your partner, then you get this deeper stretch where you both get a far deeper myofascial release. And I could suddenly do deeper chaturangas. I could hold headstands for longer. I could work with more dynamic yoga poses because I knew what that counter pressure felt like. So I could feel the space in that pose that I was trying to reach. And it exponentially changed the way I taught my students to be able to do this work. As far as the spirit goes, it awakens those 4 divine states. And the 4 divine states would be karuna, compassion, okay? Metta, loving kindness. Mudita, which is a sympathetic joy. And upekkha, which is equanimity, which is sort of the Eastern word for happiness. And it's not just while you're doing the work on a partner in a private yoga class that you would feel that. They start to move out into the rest of your life. And then the other added bonus is you get to feel more spiritually at home in your body than you ever have before when you do this work. And it's just incredibly transformative. It changes everything in your life as far as the way you approach yoga, but also other aspects of my life. So when I first began teaching yoga, I was a manager at a bank. I'd worked there for 18 years. Within a year of completing my training in this, I no longer was a banker. I was a healer, I was a yogi. And I started out just working on clients on my lunch hour from the bank. And everybody wanted to reschedule. Within a year of shelling out the tuition for my own certification, I was making that tuition back 1.5 times every month. So it can take the opportunity to teach yoga to groups and give you an opportunity to increase your viability as a yoga teacher to support yourself differently. And there were all these women that signed up, and it just so happened that they were coming in and out of my home for me to practice this on them in the 3 weeks my own mother was passing. So I was working on these women that were my mother's age over the course of her passing. But to work on these women was so healing for me as my own mother went through that death process. I had left the bank early one Friday. I left at 3:58 one Friday when I was a banker to do a private partner yoga session on someone while I was getting my own hours. And at 4:02, robbers who were masked with sawed-off shotguns walked in the bank and asked for me by name. So the fact that I was off doing this work literally saved my life. I could keep going. When I was teaching in 2010 this training, I was teaching about the disease process progression in Ayurveda, how it settles in the doshas, and I was teaching the language of how disease progresses in the body. I had been to a doctor for a little bump right here, and he'd said there's nothing wrong, you know, we could drain it, but it'll just come back, go ahead and just leave it there, it's fine. This stuff happens for women all the time. And when I started to teach the training, and I started to learn of the disease process of settling, when it settles, the settling stage right before death happens, I recognized my dosha and what was happening with my body. So I went to a different doctor who tried to drain it and found out it was breast cancer. And so doing this work has saved my life. I mean, it sounds so like big, but it is. It's big. Doing this work will open up areas that are life-saving. They happen for me and they will be for you as you do the work. So, yeah, it's awesome. So namaste to that, you know.
Yeah.
I love it. I really love it.